So I'd like to bring on and introduce to you one of our awesome scientists, Lisa Barnes. She is here. She's pumped up. And I love her energy, and I love like what she's already kind of put together for us. So I'm going to turn the time over to Lisa, who's done a lot with these Nutricentials products. And Lisa, we are so grateful that you had the time to be with us today. And we're just going to hand the reins over to you and let you take over. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much, David. And thank you for having me. It's been a while since I've been able to present to all of you guys, especially on Nutricentials. And I'm very excited to share with you our next innovations in this amazing line. So let me go ahead and share my screen so that we can go ahead and jump right in. Okay, perfect. So today we are going to be talking about the pumps. And before we get into the specific 3 pumps that I'm going to be talking about today, I wanted to give you a little bit of behind the scenes, peek behind the curtain of how these formulas came to be. Our R&D team is made up of different formulators and development scientists, and we're always looking for the next innovations, be it new ingredients, new textures. What is the next thing coming up? And so what we do when we have our little bit of free time that we do when we're not working on our scheduled products is we innovate, and we have what's called a formula library, where we go out and find these innovative concepts, and we make up prototypes and we present them to our partners here at corporate, because we think that we need to launch them, that these are products that we need. And these pumps were part of that. We saw the trends of these kind of very focused ingredient products, and we knew that we could do that incredibly well here at Nu Skin, and we knew that it would be a perfect fit into our Nutricentials line. And so kind of diving in a little bit about our pumps, the big key with pumps is personalization. Our Nutricentials line already, we have lots of different moisturizers, cleansers. We have different textures, different things for different skin types. You can already personalize in a lot of ways, but we wanted to pump up that personalization even more with increased benefits. And we're going to be focusing on kind of 3 main benefits today: hydration, kind of smoothing and soothing, and then kind of focusing more on like evening skin tone and kind of the minimization of lines and wrinkles. Because with Nutricentials, everyone's skin, as David was saying, is different. Everyone has different needs, and who knows your skin better than yourself? And these pumps, along with the rest of Nutricentials, allows you to customize the skincare regimen for what your skin needs. And these specific pumps will allow you to even change it on the daily. Like maybe your skin needs a little bit more of this today or a little bit more of this today. You can change up your routine and have a constantly shifting regimen that will give you all of the benefits that you need. Now, kind of starting at the basis of these pumps, these are in the Nutricentials line. So they have all of the benefits of Nutricentials. They have the bioadaptive botanicals, which I'm going to briefly mention on our next slide. They are clean formulas, and they are created for all skin types. But now we have these additional benefits. So before we dive into the very specific benefits, I want to do a reminder of these bioadaptive botanicals. Now, these bioadaptive botanicals are plants that thrive in these extreme climates thanks to their adaptive properties. So we have the marrow root, which lives in high elevation, so kind of that higher atmospheric pressure. And then we have our rhodiola, which grows in soil of low nutrition. We have our ginseng, which grows in polluted soil, our chaga, which grows in kind of colder environments, and then our resurrection plant, which if you've ever heard me talk before, is my absolute favorite. It's one that grows in kind of environments of low water, like in the desert. And so when it encounters no water, it curls up in a little ball, like you can kind of see on the left-hand side here. Looks like it's dead, but the minute that it gets water on it, it springs open to life. We've done that here in our office and tried it out. It completely works. It's a fantastic demo. But all of the properties of these plants, what allows them to live in these specific kind of harsh environments, we harnessed and brought into Nutricentials to allow your skin to adapt to the everyday stressors that you face, because we know that everyone faces their own unique struggles. I work full-time. I have 3 little girls. I've recently become a dance mom. I'm always running from one thing to another. My skin needs lots of things. It needs help adapting. Nutricentials is the perfect thing for that. But digging specifically into these pumps and why you 100% need to try these. We're going to start with our hyaluronic acid and B5 pump. And if any word about these stands out, it's going to be hydration for this hyaluronic acid pump. This is your pump for when you need that burst of mega moisturization. And it's able to do that. Like I said, it has the worry-free ingredients, it has the bioadaptive botanicals, but then it has this hyaluronic acid cocktail, and which means it has this blend of these different forms and molecular weights of hyaluronic acid, which we're going to dig into more and why that's important. And then it also has vitamin B5 or panthenol. So looking at some of the claims of this formula, where I really want to kind of highlight is this providing major hydration. Because we did a third-party clinical on this, because we always do this with our key hydration products, is we want to show how quickly they work and how long they work. And so we were able to show in a third-party study that we were able to get a big boost of hydration after 1 hour, so very quickly. It continued on to 12 hours. Still up very high, plus 100%. And then it was continuous hydration for 24 hours. So this is your go-to if you need that boost of hydration to your regimen. If it's one of those really dry days or you have a dry climate, it's that perfect boost that you need. And then it also kind of helps keep your skin smoother and more supple, conditioning and softening the skin, and then supporting your skin's natural moisture barrier so that you can continue to retain that moisture that we're adding to the skin. And then there's a couple other ingredients, the mulberry tree root extract and then sodium hyaluronate that we're going to be digging into. And those are actually grown in unique controlled environments. So moving on to, because this is the key star. If you look at the package, it says hyaluronic acid. So what is hyaluronic acid? So it's a sugar that's found naturally in our skin, and it holds water incredibly well and helps keep it hydrated and plump. Honestly, you cannot view a commercial on TV for a skincare product right now, or read an article, or look anywhere, honestly, without seeing hyaluronic acid mentioned. It's just one of those staple ingredients that's just so efficacious that very few things can beat it. It's just fantastic. Now, one thing to kind of note, and this is like an insider skin tip, is that you're going to hear hyaluronic acid on every advertisement, but pure hyaluronic acid is not typically used in skincare or hair care because it's not stable in this acid form. So what you're going to see on your label is sodium hyaluronate or another salt form, and sodium hyaluronate is the most common. And it's that water-soluble salt that's derived from hyaluronic acid. So that's what you're going to see on your label, but they'll kind of use the common name of hyaluronic acids. There's your tip. Now, hyaluronic acid is not just one thing, and that's what makes it such an interesting ingredient. It can be found in many different molecular weights, from very small, so like a 3,000 Dalton size, and just a Dalton is just really just a chemical unit. You may have heard it in a chemistry or physics class before, and it can go all the way up to like 8 million Daltons. And it really depends on what you want the formula to do. These higher molecular weights, the closer up in the millions, they're going to stay on the surface, and they're going to really form a moisturizing film just to keep your skin hydrated. And that'll also just make your formula feel amazing. You're going to have that nice aesthetic glide. Then you kind of have some of your medium to some of the lower weight molecular weight hyaluronic acids, and that's more longer lasting hydration compared to the high. And then we have our low molecular weights, which are smaller, so they are going to penetrate deeper and offer a deeper hydration because they have that potential of migrating deeper into the skin. And so what you need to know about formulating a product with hyaluronic acid is that we don't want to just use one molecular weight. We like to tackle things in like issues like hydration and dry skin in multiple ways. That's what makes Nu Skin awesome at what we do in making formulas is the way that we formulate them. And so we mix different molecular weights together to be able to get multi-benefits and pull everything we can from this fantastic ingredient. Now, I'm going to talk really quickly about the forms of hyaluronic acid that are in this pump, because as I said, we didn't just put one in there. That would not be the Nu Skin way. We are tackling this dry skin problem in multiple ways to make sure you get the bang for your buck. If you use this product, you are going to get the hydration. So first we have our hydrolyzed sodium hyaluronate, and that's our smaller molecular weight, and it's produced by enzymatic degradation, and it's going to penetrate into the skin, and that's going to moisturize and help strengthen the skin's barrier function. Now, the next one is sodium acetylated hyaluronate, and this is a unique derivative of hyaluronic acid because it's been modified to have both lipophilic, oil-loving, and hydrophilic, water-loving kind of properties. So it's going to be able to stay on the skin, preventing that water loss and improving moisturization. And then we have two different forms of just straight sodium hyaluronate. We have the lower and the higher molecular weight. So we have that more of that kind of deeper hydration and then that hydration layer as well. So this complex, this cocktail of all these hyaluronic acid derivatives is what makes this product so special and gives it such wonderful properties. Kind of continuing on, looking at all the ingredients, like I said, this has all of the bioadaptive botanicals that Nutricentials, that makes Nutricentials so amazing. It has that hyaluronic acid cocktail that I just talked about. And then it also combines with a vitamin B5, so that's panthenol. So that's going to help condition and soften your skin and leave it kind of feeling that silky smooth. And then we have our white mulberry tree root extract. And so this is a unique ingredient. It's kind of cultivated through a controlled environment, and it's going to help prevent and protect against damage and premature aging caused by external stressors. So it fits perfectly into the Nutricentials story, kind of continuing to build on our heritage of these bioadaptive botanicals that help with external stressors. So there, we've got through our first pump, and that's already a lot, but we got two more to go. So hold on, and we'll jump right into our ceramides and postbiotics. So if the first keyword for the hyaluronic acid pump was hydration, ceramides and postbiotics is smooth and soothe. So we're going to soothe your skin and you're going to smooth it. And so this also has that bioadaptive botanical complex, like I mentioned, is that's across the line. And it has 3 skin identical ceramides, microalgae, and lactobacillus ferment. And we'll go more into what this lactobacillus ferment is because it's a postbiotic that's gentle on the skin's natural microbiome. And all of these work together to protect and strengthen your skin's vital moisture barrier, which leads to the smoothing and soothing benefit. And then we have an additional ingredient, ectoin, which is really cool. I also have a slide on that one because we're going to dig into that one. It's going to help visibly smooth the skin. We're going to have an apple extract, which has an interesting story as well, that gives a burst of moisturization and an amino acid blend. So what I'm saying in this is essentially all these key ingredients are just awesome. And we're going to dig into a lot of individual slides and kind of tell you some of why we picked these specific ingredients. So looking at the claims, kind of some of the key ones here kind of go into the strengthen and protect your skin's natural moisture barrier, to prevent that water loss, to soothe, hydrate, and visibly smooth skin. And then it being made with this postbiotic that is gentle on your skin's natural microbiome, which is very important if you have that more kind of sensitive skin. And then it also features this glass microalgae, which is cultivated through controlled environment agriculture. Continuing on, let's talk about why we would use a postbiotic maybe versus a prebiotic or a probiotic. But before we talk about why, let's talk about what they are quickly. A prebiotic, what those are substances that promote the growth of beneficial bacteria on the skin and inhibit harmful bacteria. So essentially it's bacteria food. So you would put an ingredient in there that would help encourage the growth of bacteria you would want. So that's a prebiotic. Then we have probiotics. And this is an interesting subject because a probiotic is technically a viable or a live bacteria, which when consumed or applied in adequate amounts will confer a good health effect on the skin or on the host. And so it provides that good bacteria to the skin's microbiome, and which gives wonderful skin benefits. You see lots of postbiotics that are kind of marketed, but a lot of them are actually fermentations. They are not live bacteria because live bacteria are incredibly difficult to put into formulas because some of the challenges of that are if you have a live bacteria, how do you keep it from growing and overtaking your formula? There's regulatory compliance, and you want to ensure there's no contamination, but you want to keep the probiotics viable. So you can't put preservatives in a formula if you have probiotics. So often if they are using live bacteria, they'll have you put it in the fridge to but not too cold. You have to be very careful to keep it alive. it's not the best to work with any sort of personal care. So we have picked the postbiotic category. And what that is a non-viable bacterial products or these metabolic byproducts. And it's from probiotic bacteria. These products are produced during fermentation from these probiotic bacteria. And so that could be enzymes, peptides, there's neuropeptides, polysaccharides, there's lots of different things that you can consider kind of determine based on what benefit that you would like. Now, once again, because we are Nu Skin and we don't just pick any old postbiotic, we do our research and we want to ensure that we have something unique and something that confers a great benefit that's different than our competition. We're using a special lactobacillus ferment, and it uses a mildly heat-treated lactobacillus strain that's non-viable, but the key to it is that it has its structures that are intact, the bacteria. So you get the benefits of a probiotic without the challenges of live bacteria, which is kind of the dream, to be able to have that kind of synergy. So we get the benefits without having to make you put a formula in your fridge. So yes, that is why we chose to go with a postbiotic. Looking quickly at some of the other key ingredients, we have the lactobacillus, which I already mentioned, the glass microalgae, which helps soothe skin and support the moisture barrier, reducing water loss. Ectoin, which I'll talk about next. Our apple extract, which is incredibly cool, because what's cool about this is that it's actually an upcycled ingredient from the apple juice industry. Because when they do apple juice, they kind of squeeze out what they need, and there's parts of the apple that are left over. And so instead of just throwing that out, they actually are able to extract this natural saccharide complex from it and get these amazing moisturization benefits. So we're using something that would be waste to really complement our product. So it's a really cool sustainability story there. And then we have an amino acid blend, which helps hydrate the skin. So going into what ectoin is. So kind of salt lakes and deserts are really harsh environments on Earth. We already talked about with deserts, our Selaginella, lepidophylla, or our resurrection plant, how that kind of had to develop unique systems to thrive in that environment. There are bacteria that grow in these different harsh environments as well. And there's highly adapted bacteria called extremophilic microorganisms, and they defy these dryness, high salt content, and extreme changes in environment, and they're called extremolites. And so our ectoin is a type of extremolite, and it's accumulated by halophytes, are these salt-loving bacteria. And so essentially it's a very nice protective molecule. It protects cytoplasmic biomolecules of these extremophilic microorganisms. So it protects them against environmental conditions like UV, heat, freezing, dryness, etc. So we confer those benefits, those protection benefits onto the skin, similar to how we did with our bioadaptive botanicals. So once again, a beautiful kind of next generation addition to our story there. It really helps add another dimension to this soothe and smooth product. Okay, and then now we've reached our last pump of our discussion today, which is bakuchiol. So we had hydration, we had smooth and soothe, and this one is get even or even skin tone / kind of that minimizing the appearance of lines and wrinkles. So very defined usage occasions for these products to get that specific boost of benefit that you are looking for to add to your Nutricentials regimen or whatever regimen you are using in our Nu Skin line. And so kind of the key benefit of this is the key ingredient is this 100% plant-derived antioxidant bakuchiol. It's a naturally derived retinol alternative, and we'll dig more into that. So it helps gently even skin tone and minimizes the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. We also have an appearance from our apple extract, get that beautiful sustainability story in there again. And so once again, just a beautiful addition to the regimen, really focusing on this kind of fine lines and wrinkles and even skin tone as well. Going into our claims, we'll focus here with our visibly even skin tone, helping minimize the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, giving that skin just soft, smooth appearance, radiance, glow, and moisturization as well. And then we also have a unique ingredient grown through controlled environment in this one as well, this Janny or Rubens extract, which once again, we'll talk about in a second. So let's first dig into the star of this product, which is bakuchiol. So it's extracted and purified from these babchi seeds from India. And it's used as a natural alternative to retinol, but it has a completely different structure than retinol. And the reason why having that completely different structure is important is it doesn't actually overload the retinoic acid dependent pathways in your skin like retinol. So that's what kind of helps minimize any irritation that you would have. Because normally with retinol, it's known to kind of be a little bit harsher. And this is able to have a lot of efficacy without some of those kind of the side effects that you might have. And so, like I said, get this gentler than retinol, because that retinol can be converted to retinaldehyde, then retinoic acid, and then that can cause that irritation due to those overload of those pathways. It's an antioxidant, but it is comparable to retinol in improving photoaging and cell turnover. So it's working through those similar mechanisms, so you're going to get fantastic benefits from it. And then our additional ingredients was this Jania rubens extract. It's a unique marine herb that really helps kind of help the even skin tone and minimizing or helps reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. So it's kind of working with our bakuchiol there. And then our apple extract, as I mentioned, to give that burst of hydration to your skin. And so that was a very, very quick tour through all of our pumps products. I'm always glad to talk more about them, but I think that gives you a great overview of why you'd want to use them to pump up the benefits of hydration, kind of soothing of skin, and then this minimization of fine lines and wrinkles. And so with that, I'm going to turn it back over to David and we'll continue on.